So what I'm going to do here is review the temperature profiles for the South, um, especially since I have friends that live here and I live here. I'm very concerned about where the cold temps are going to be, things like that. And this is the NAM 3 kilometer here. It goes out 60 hours, right? Pretty sure. Yeah, 60, right? So to start with, the coldest temps are in northwest Georgia. The rest of the state. Um, you can see where all they have northerly winds, right? Building in here. You can see the wind barbs, right? So you see the 32-degree line, this white line here, pushing the south, okay? As we get towards the end of today, the cold air really starts pushing down east of the not Rockies, Appalachians. You can see a push of warmer air to the north here already into parts of Alabama, okay? Cold air hangs on in northern Georgia, and then, of course, in the Appalachians here, right? This is where we got our big problem here in northeast Georgia with the cold temps. We start getting freezing rain here, okay? And it pushes a little bit further out. This is Sunday morning. The temps are still, the wedge is still building in here, okay? At least according to this model, right? So you see the different lines here. They depict, you get your freezing line and temperatures, right? Even into middle Georgia, we're talking near freezing, okay, but not quite there. So this isn't exact, right? But the freezing line pushes pretty far to the east and south, but doesn't make it much further than this. So we're talking Monday morning sometime. Let's see, that's 13Z. So and this is 06Z run. I had to, maybe we'll get a new run in a little bit later, right? And you see what happens here. It wants to start pushing the freezing temps further to the north here. The cold front pushing through here. Here's your 32-degree line. See how the temps really warm up here. And it looks like a surface flow is translating to the east here with this, right? So because it's moving so closely here to this area, I get the feeling this is 1Z. So this is around late in the evening. So temperatures at the surface could get in the 60s here, especially along the Gulf Coast. All right. So um, if these temps push further to the north here, and we have this boundary here, right? Wherever this boundary is, there's more vorticity in the atmosphere. So um, this gives us more potential for severe weather. Although the tornado risk a little further to the south, but along where this cold front pushes through, and I'll switch to that next. The radar depiction of this, but you see the strong southerly flow ahead here, and kind of just mixed bag of winds here with this surface low maybe on the lee side of the Appalachians. And then the cold air pushes through overnight with cold air advection after that. So let's switch over to the simulated reflectivity. You see this strong area, this cold front pushing through. Kind of loses its punch up north here, and this is the NAM depiction of it, right? So pretty intense convective banding here as we go through here. So this is overnight tonight. I wouldn't be surprised we have some high winds here. Now, look at wind gusts associated with this. Yeah, I mean, 30, 40, well, 4 knots. 40 gusts, 40 knots. So um, the potential exists, and this is why they outline this risk here for high winds with this, right? Look at this right here. So you see the sharp cutoff here, that in this vorticity maximum. I I have to look at the upper levels with this, but you see what I'm talking about here with winds. So I'm not trying to over dramatize the severe threat here, but it's definitely not zero. Okay, so we need to be mindful of that. All right, and you see after that, um, the winds come out from the northwest, and that's it, right, in the higher terrain. Okay, the high winds. So when we look at severe parameters, we look at helicity in the atmosphere at the lower levels and mid levels. This is 0 to 1 kilometer storm relative helicity values. And you see how they are very high here in this area. We have your highest temperatures and your helicity, right, and your spin in the atmosphere. They kind of wane over time as it moves to the east, right, as a cold front kind of gets rid of some of that energy. The cold front just wipes out that energy in the atmosphere. But you can almost make out, you see that line here, kind of an interesting look here, right? This is, you know, we got winds from the south, move through time with this, more winds from the west. This is at 0 to 1 kilometer storm relative helicity, 10-meter winds. So, yeah, kind of interesting scenario here. So, you see the northwest flow kind of westerly here, 10 meters, and northwest flow takes over. So we'll switch to the 0 to 3 kilometer storm relative helicity. Still quite high here, just in this corridor, this narrow corridor. So you definitely have the potential for a brief spin-up tornado in these areas. Okay, we'll have to see how this evolves and whether these temperatures are actually realized in the coming up till this event tomorrow. Now what I'm doing here is comparing I'm looking at the HRR model, which is a good short range model as well. It wants to bring the helicity values a little further to the north here and a wider value here. So 180, 150 meters squared per second square. So you get further south here, the helicity values in this area are even higher, right? So anywhere you see these values, potential for severe weather exists, all right? So, and this is switching to the 0 to 3 kilometer, okay? Same kind of look here. Quite high amounts, like right in this area. Interesting look here. So we can also look at supercell composite, which shows the potential for supercells in this area as well. And it can really explain why the SPC has this area outlooked, right? I mean, so look at the surface. Let's go to a simulated reflectivity with the HRR. It wants to bring a pretty intense band of weather through our area overnight, a little bit earlier than the NAM. So, and it has some helicity swaths here. You see that circle there? Some convective elements here really maybe want to get going within the line. So it's hate to say it, but we're gonna have to be in the outlook for this severe weather tomorrow. But in the short term, the potential does exist for some icing here, but low potential for middle Georgia. Further to the northeast, of course. And listen to your National Weather Service office and get the latest here.